Hi, I'm Greg Schaefer. Welcome to the virtual CISO moment. This is the 150th discussion that I've done, and this is a special episode. We have our first repeat guest, and the reason why it is a repeat is you'll find out in just a second. Anthony Scarola joins us today. He is the author of FITLSDOG. You're going to find out what that is and what that means very soon in just a moment. Anthony, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, Greg, thanks. It's great being back, and congratulations on the 150th episode. That's quite an accomplishment.
I didn't think I'd get past 3. so I'm glad to be here. Glad to have you on for this special episode. First, before we dive into the book, just give us a little summary about who you are, and it gives us a little background as to your authority, I guess, if you will, or your skill set for writing the book.
Absolutely. So I was born in, I'm joking, Greg. I won't start there. My name is Anthony Scarola. I'm a BCISO, as well as a director of ITGRC for a bank in New York City. And my background is pretty varied. I've been in the military. I was in the Army for several years. I was always focused on IT, working in computers, starting in the mid-'80s, really. So my background, like I said, is varied. Started off working in IT, focused on Microsoft and Cisco systems primarily, gained the Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer certification. I've been in banking for many years now, over 15, and I have been working in New York City now for 4 years, as well as having a job as a BCISO.
Awesome stuff. So let's get to FITLSDOG, the Financial Information Technology Leader's Strategy, Development, and Operations Guide. I first have to say that this is a fabulous book. It first of all, as you can see, it's rather thick, but you don't want to use it for a doorstop. You definitely want to read it. It is a long read. It is a very in-depth read. And the one thing I will say, I know that it's towards the financial services industry, but this actually is applicable, most of the stuff in here, to just about every other industry as well. So why don't you tell us a little bit, first of all, about what the book is about, and then why you decided to write it?
Absolutely. So I would say that over the course of my career, I've been educated. I've got a bachelor's degree in cybersecurity. I enjoy writing very much, and through the course of my career, I've also been involved in several organizations. I think that have really been the source of my inspiration for writing. One of those institutions that I was a member of that I'm still a member of, actually, was the Financial Services Information Sharing and Analysis Center, which is the FSISAC Intel sharing organization. And as I was a CISO at a bank in Southeast Virginia for 6 years, and during that time, I provided support for the FSISAC institution, really helping other financial institutions as well. During that time, I worked with the Bankers Association and presented on several occasions, and really saw that there was a need, and this was, of course, in the 2000s, I would say, and mid 2010s, was really need for more support from financial services, from the financial services sector, more cybersecurity and information security management support. A lot of people during that time were getting hit by various attacks. Customers as well were being hit by various attacks, account takeover, other related malware type of attacks. Lots of money has and continues to be exfiltrated from our financial institutions and our wallets, really, at the end of the day. So I saw the need, and really made me feel good to help other financial institutions. So I desired to do that. I did a stint at a bank in Cincinnati, and during those 2 years, had conversations with a former colleague from the CC and financial services in the FSISAC group, to move to Accenture with the thought of helping other financial institutions. So I did that for a couple of years as well. worked with banks of all sizes across the United States. So I've kind of always kept that in me, that desire to help as many financial institutions as possible, I guess. And so I thought one of the best ways to do that was to try to write down as much knowledge that I had about the issues and the management related issues that kind of lead to a culture that promotes weakness in the security control environment. So I think that's what I've really accomplished in the book, is to document knowledge, and it really takes a life cycle approach, right? It's everything from finding the right fit from a financial institution perspective, getting your foot in the door, understanding the institution, because not every institution is going to be a perfect fit for you as an employee. So it's asking the right questions during the interview to understand the culture of the institution and to see if it is a right fit, right? So it's a life cycle, because it takes you from there all the way through, being hired, or actually starting your own business. I know that you've read the book, so you've seen that as well. That is another option as well. Being a consultant, a VCO as well is another great option. And then once you get your foot in the door, understanding what the areas of weakness might be, where enhancements might be made, where you can help to evolve the institution, and also where you might not be able to help in the institution as well. So, that's always something to consider too. And I've written about that in the book as well. But on a positive note, it's really about helping other financial institutions to succeed in this incredibly complex digital world with so much pressure from the cyber actors and the criminals out there that are trying to really get our information, our sensitive data, and our money.
Well, I love the fact that unlike most security books or information technology books, most of those, they'll start right at the technical side. You start actually, as you just mentioned, actually really from the beginning. And what I'm talking about here is starting from actually finding the right fit, getting hired. So chapter 1, getting hired in financial services. Chapter 2, you're hired. Now what? Awesome. I'm not going to talk about specifics here in the book, but I mean, it's so detailed, even with the end here, specific questions that you could ask in a financial services job interview. And again, a lot of those translate to other industries. And then thank you notes. I mean, a lot of people don't even think about that sort of thing. That's the level of detail here. So I want to ask you, you share a lot of your journey in much detail, sample letters of when you're doing a query for a job, for example. What is one of the most significant things that somebody can do to land that job? If you were to take all of them, what is the top one that they can do?
That's a good question. I think that it comes down to, again, being the right fit for the institution. I think will shine through, because if you're truly passionate about the institution and their challenges, if you can, whatever you glean during those interviews to understand what their challenges are, I think if you're truly passionate about that, it really becomes, it's not really a job anymore, right? This is your passion and what you're driven to, so that will really shine through, I think, in your responses, right? So it's about during the follow-up, obviously, and does that passion shine through about what you spoke about during those interviews? Are you focused on those issues and how you can help to solve them? You can work with the institution to mature it and to evolve it to a state that it answer its, of course, size and complexity, as we like to say in financial services. But I think that's what really will help to land that job for you, is do you have the right skills, and you've got to be truthful about that at the onset, because of course, no one wants to hire somebody and start training them to do their job. I think as professionals, we do need to be skilled up. with proper education and certifications as needed. But then, as you respond to those job interviews and provide feedback when the opportunities present themselves, to really focus on what their issues are and how you can help to solve them, because I think that really helps to get to the next interview within the institution and hopefully get to the hiring manager and have an interview with them to, again, to shine, right? To show how you can support their goals and help them to get to where they want to go.
One last question. Now, I know from my experience as well, too, that putting together a book from the beginning, the conceptual aspect, what am I going to write about? How am I going to put it together to the final end and seeing the final product? There's a lot of things that you have to do. And I don't think a lot of people realize just how many steps and things are involved along the whole process. But yet there are a lot of folks out there, I probably almost everybody, not everybody, but probably almost everybody that you meet, they say that they have a book in their self somewhere that they want to bring out. What's one small snippet of advice you would give to someone who's thinking about writing something but hasn't yet started it yet?
Yeah, that's a great question, Greg. I typically found that over the years of writing this book, my peak times that I craved to write were in those cold winter months, and that's when I typically focused on writing. When you're kind of in that hibernation mode, and you want to provide some value, it could be a little bit challenging in those dark hours, right? So I typically found that was a very time to write, and I actually obviously I finished the book earlier this year, and so I did a lot of writing over the winter months. I think that it's just really a matter of finding when is a convenient time for you to write, and if you crave it, and if you crave and you have passion for writing, you will definitely find those moments to write. But it's really just about starting. It's about writing down as much and as many ideas as you possibly can. Those ideas will start to form chapters, and then through the many hours of editing, you'll get to a place where you feel comfortable enough that you're providing some value for those for the reader, right, that you hope to provide. So I think that's really what it's all about. It's just, you got to start. If you have a passion for it, you have to start. Put pen to paper, put fingers to keyboards, and move forward.
I lied. I got one more question. Are you planning a follow-up to this? Do you have another security IT related book in mind, or are you going to make this into a movie?
Yeah, that would be an interesting concept. I definitely have given thought to what to do next. I think that it's probably fairly easy with the evolution of technology, as we're seeing with artificial intelligence, and how that's both helping and challenging cyber security and information security programs across the nation, across the world, really. I think that revising and providing some additional revisions in the future are definitely on the table. I've also been thinking about providing some courses online to go through the book and to help teach the elements that are in the book in that media as well, in that format as well, by providing some online courses and course content. So I'd say those two things are really top of mind at this point.
So we might actually see a FITLSDOG course on Udemy at some point in time. That's all.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
You can find the book on Amazon and other outlets, I'm sure, and just do a search for it. And awesome job. Absolutely loved it. Congratulations on the release. Looking forward to seeing more from it. And thank you so much for being here on the 150th conversation of the Virtual CISO Moment.
Thank you, Greg. It's an honor to be with you.
And everybody, stay secure.